What's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, LMC, the People's Fitness Professional, alongside my co-host.
Mikey Fever.
And this is a New Yorker's Perspective. We got Canaanland Moors, aka Cujo, on with us right now.
That's a
Don't forget,
fact.
don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Also, we are on Instagram at NYP Talk Show, the same handle, NYP Talk Show. We're on Instagram. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on all streaming platforms. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere. We're on Twitter. We just need a little help with running some of these accounts. So like a lot of this stuff is kind of like inactive. But we stay abreast of what's going on with just mainly YouTube and Facebook, right?
Exactly. YouTube and Facebook. As the brother said, comment, like, share, subscribe, super chats. That's most important. Engage with the people.
Indeed.
And Happy New Year.
And happy New Year to everybody out there. Shawnee and a check-in. What's going on? Shawnee, a part of our Tuesday crew, the hip hop crew. Hip hop and current news. Thank you for coming out. We really appreciate you, brother Cujo, for giving your time to the platform. Greatly appreciate it. I would say you're one of the I can't say pioneers. I would say the pioneer definitely in Canaan land. Definitely. That's a fact. I would say in this Moorish paradigm, I would say you would be considered one of the bigger figures, if that's a term to use, right?
Yeah.
You would be a name. You would be a name that rings bells in the Moorish community for sure.
Chopping heads off. He be chopping heads off online.
It's definite.
That's a long history in the Moorish community, and solid. He stands on his principles, regardless of whom or what. He doesn't care. He just cares about the truth, and that's it. And that's what I respect about him. So now we're going into the Moorish Empire. Now, when it comes to the Moorish Empire, I know some things about the Moorish Empire. I got into Moorish science based on knowledge. I just wanted to have the knowledge, the deeper knowledge in what Noble Ali taught. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with like the higher self and the lower self and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like the history aspect, I used to be into the history back in the days, but when I stopped the history, like getting into the history, because it's such a vast subject, right? Especially when dealing with the Moors. When you're dealing with the Moors, it could take you in so many different directions, and it's a rabbit hole that if you're not careful, you could end up sleeping on the streets. literally.
They'll tell you all kinds of weird things, right?
No, not necessarily that. It just takes so much study. It takes so much study, and it could get confusing. And then you got to keep going back and you got to make references. It's like it's so much study involved with Moorish history, because the history is so vast, and there's a lot of lies told as well.
That's what I was about to allude to, like elaborate on that. You got a lot of lying people that wear fezzes, stealing people's money, scamming them and stuff like that.
Well, not only that, I'm talking about the European and how, European tries to keep everything under wraps, and keep it from the masses of people, so that, the Asiatics don't get their true history, and so they can maintain calling themselves Negro, Black, and colored, so, that and a whole bunch of other things, that's why I want the brother Cujo to expound on the Moorish history, because, it's an illustrious history. It's our birthright, what was passed down to us from the ancestors, the knowledge that was passed down. The Moors were able to do things that, the Egyptians were able to do. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
In their time. So to go into it, let's build on the history.
let's not forget the Vatican played a part too in that. Let's
Yeah.
let Cujo tell.
Islam. The first honors to you, Moors, for still having the platform. We've seen many such come and many such go. And you're still
Saying
here.
that.
You're still here.
Indeed.
So that's a good thing. Honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali for all the work that he did, keeping us on our square. Do I have my sharing capabilities? I could present and stuff.
Yes, sir.
All right. So of course we got to start with Noble Drew Ali. Now we're just gonna skip right to the Moorish Empire part, just so that we could keep it moving. Now you're talking about this idea of the history being so much and trying to, one of the things that Noble Drew Ali presented to the Moors when he did the "We're Not Negro Black Colors" is teaching us about synonyms, teaching us that there's multiple words that mean the same thing. So that's gonna compact the history now.
Okay.
If you look at all the synonyms and you just put more next to all of them, then you make all of them Moors, and then you see what the history is. So now you could deal with it, opposed to dealing with the whoever's over there and the whoever's over there and the whatever. When he said Moorish Empire, and then he gave you all the different families that were connected to it, and then he gave you the landmass jurisdictions that's connected to it, then there's no confusion now. The confusion comes from people who are not part of the Moorish whatever talking on the Moorish stuff.
Okay. So now to your point, do you mean, like, let's say for instance the word Morisco, right? So like the Moriscos weren't like of the Islamic creed, they were of the what would I call it, the Christian, they were Christian, right? However, they were still Moors.
They were still Moors,
right?
Even if they're Christian. And then just like the Islamic, even though they're Islamic, they're still Moors. Then you go to the Hindus, and even though they're Hindu, they're still Moors. Because that's the common theme as far as the world history. The common theme is these people are called Moors. No matter what else you call them, they're Moors. As far as the world, North America, that's a different thing, whole different mindset. That's over here.
Right.
But even if we go into, because we said the world, so even if we go into Central and South America, even there, because they're going to tell you Moreno, not Negro. And that's all Spanish-speaking countries. ALL, all. None of them are going to say, oh yeah, there's a Negro over there. All of them are going to say Moreno, Morena.
Yep.
And that's just the Americas. So if they know in the Americas, then no anybody else who's playing around like they don't know, they're playing around. We were just I just uploaded to Instagram today this old video of Malik Zulu Shabazz proclaiming that he's a Moor.
Word.
I know I'm a Moor. Honors to Noble Drew Ali and all that. I know that I'm a Moor. And he's Esquire, and he knows that he's a Moor.
Right.
You know?
So now, when we're talking about okay, so this is where it gets tricky, right? Because you're talking about the exact definition of what a Moor is. If correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Right now, as far as Moorish history and the empire is concerned, that would be considered different, wouldn't it?
The going back again to the concept of things being synonymous. That's just what it is. So if they say Moroccan, they're talking about Moors. If they say Moorish, they're talking about Moors.
Mhm.
If they say Maghreb, they're talking about Moors. If they say Berbers, they're talking about Moors. If they say North Africans, they're talking about Moors. If they say Egyptians, they're talking about Moors, because all these are synonymous. And our people are going to claim all the synonyms, but not claim more, because they think that's Islamic or something like that. Or,
Now,
they heard something about Noble Drew Ali, so they don't want to be Moors, as if Chinese could not be Chinese because some Chinese over there said something crazy. So now, oh well, now we're not Chinese, we're yellow people.
Mhm. It's the conditioning. Also, they've been conditioned to think black.
It's the conditioning, which is again the whole point of Noble Drew Ali, to break that generational curse of conditional minded European thinking, and start and go back to the mindset of your foremothers and forefathers. Because if you go back to the mindset of your foremothers and forefathers, you're not going to call yourself Negro, black, colored, because those aren't ancient. Foremothers and forefathers, they didn't call themselves black and all that.
Right. So now I had more questions and I had more to add to what you were saying. However, I want you to go with your flow, right?
Yeah. The flow is where Allah takes it. So whenever you feel to jump in or whatever, just jump in.
Gotcha.
Right? So verse 6 is talking about the Moabites from the land of Moab, right? So the Moabites, Moab, right? Letting you know the landmass, and then the people of that landmass, right? Receive permission from the pharaohs of Egypt, right? So the pharaohs, the name, and then Egypt, the landmass, to settle and inhabit northwest Africa, northwest Africa. Right, we're going to get to all this just to bring it home.
Now, before you go there, because just like you said, wherever Allah takes it, right? Now, check this out. To add, we're going to go into that. We're going to keep this comment up there. It says the Islamic Moors were not a single distinct people, but rather a diverse group that included Arabs, Berbers, and Muslim Europeans. Now, according to the history, that's what I've seen. However, originally, before all the mixing and all of that, Moors were considered so-called quote unquote black folks, Africans, if you will. The tag that was given to us later on. However, dark people, and then later on, Arabs, and Muslim Europeans.
What they call? What's the name? What's that book right there he's showing, Ron?
African European. Hold on, let's take this comment down. African Europeans.
So Cujo, I have a question. In terms of that, I correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that term they use for the Europeans that were claiming to be Moors. They used to call them brutish Moors, something like that. Is that correct?
Well, look at it as the founders of Europe are dark-skinned people, not pale people.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever they were called, whether they called them Celt, whether they called them Walsh, whether they called them the blacksmiths, whether they called them, they were talking about Moors. Later, way later, is when the Europeans came in.
Got you.
And then when the Europeans came in, we already know they didn't have any history because they just came out the cave. So they still have like a 300, 400 years that they didn't even really get acclimated to society yet. It was still us ruling everything. They just dropped it in the Gladiator 2 with Denzel.
Yeah, I have to go check that out.
They just dropped it. Right? How's he? How is an Asiatic, a quote unquote black man, ruling in the Roman plot where that's supposed to be white man? They don't like black people and all that.
But that's been happening though. That was happening at that time. We had a lot of so-called black Greeks or black Romans at the time that were ruling it. what they
So
call
when we hear Europeans are people, because of the conditioning, automatically go to this is some European pale people thing when they hear European. But they should really be thinking Asiatic when they hear European and recalibrating that thinking.
Right.
Right? Just like Drew Ali's telling us with the Moabites and the Pharaohs and whatever. You think he's talking about pale people?
Okay.
He's not talking about pale people.
Okay.
If he's saying African descendants and Asiatic and all that, he's definitely not talking about pale people.
That's a fact. That's a
You
fact.
know? And you could go to Bar Shango and John Henrik Clark and all them telling you that all the gods of Rome and the gods of Greece and the Caesars and all them people were dark-skinned people. All the people in the scriptures, all of them were dark-skinned people.
Right. Now I have hold on. The ancient ethnic makeup of Europe evolved with Bronze Age collapse, with Central Asians migrated westward, pushing the Eastern Europeans westward. Okay.
No, and that's how they ended up where they're at.
The Phoenician. Okay, I'm gonna get to Project Baby real quick. I'm gonna get back to you. The Phoenicians ruled North Africa, Tyre, until Iberia, and the British Isles.
No, watch this now.
Mhm.
Since they brought up Phoenicians. All right, watch this now. Just so you could put it in perspective. Right? This is Empire of the Romans. This Empire of the Romans. Here, the boundaries of Tripoli, as it is called, it is inhabited by the Iberian Moors of Phoenician race.
Whoa. That's crazy. Hold on. What book is that?
This is the book Empire of the Romans
Wow.
by John Matthews.
Wow. Interesting.
So if the Moors are a Phoenician race, these Moors are now called Pakati because they have a permanent treaty with the Romans. For peace, they call Pacum in the Latin tongue. Tripoli is 20 days journey from Penatopolis of an unencumbered traveler. And then keep in mind, and in it live Moors who have been at peace with the Romans from ancient times. Why would the Moors be at peace from the Romans from ancient times? Oh, because aren't the Romans the Greeks? And then aren't the Moors the ancient Egyptians? And didn't the ancient Egyptians teach the Greeks everything that they know?
Right. That's a fact.
All right. So when we're talking about Phoenicians, oh, we're talking about Moors. When we're talking about Moabites, oh, we're talking about Moors. When we're talking about whatever the ancient name is, oh, we're talking about Moors. Well, they never called themselves Moors. They called themselves whatever. Yeah, they did. But in the modern time where we live now, since we don't live back then, now in this day and time, all dark-skinned people on the planet are known as Moors. Everybody knows this. It's not just Moors' opinion. Everybody knows that all the dark-skinned people are called Moors. That's a fact.
Now, wow, that right there, that book right there is a super jewel. What page is that?
Let's check.
Africa.
460.
Okay.
Page
Gotcha.
460.
Now, brother Cedar Rain says, where did they go? They went into Asia, meaning the empire the prophet was talking about came before these very modern wars and amalgamations. Yeah, so he's making a point as far as when he was referring to John, what was it, Welshie?
Mhm.
Yeah, so he's just talking to John Welshie in the comments. So yeah, so back to where you were. So now you hit it on the nail, as the Moore said in reference to dealing with the European origins of not European origins, the African origins of European
Europe. Yeah.
of Europe, right? So yeah,
And don't forget, uh, um, nature knows no color line.
right.
That's a good book. Jay Rogers.
Ancient and modern Britons.
Hmm.
Um, um, Blackamoors of Europe.
Hmm.
And there's a couple more. There's a couple more talking about this European Moorish connection that's avoided.
Mm.
Yeah, and Ivan Van Sertima books too.
That's a fact.
Indeed. So now, when we're talking about Moorish history, in my mind, how I'm looking at it is, um, where people misunderstand is that they're looking at a shorter period, um, um, a shorter Moorish history, meaning like the 700 years that they held,
Right,
Spain, in slavery or whatever you want to call it, right? Captive. So
right,
they're looking at just that period, and everything that pertains to Moor or Moorish, they're going to that point in history, not understanding that it's not just that point in history. It's before
yeah,
that point in history.
right.
Then after,
That's the tail end of it,
right.
which is how our people do. What do they do with Black history? They go to the tail end of it, the part of slavery, and that's it.
Yeah. Because
And they base their foundation on, what did they do with the Moorish movement? They took the Moorish Science Temple of America, which is the tail part of it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Moorish nation been going on. We've been Moors.
That's a fact.
Mhm.
now you got Moorish heritage here.
Yeah, we're just gonna go in just to some different reference points just to show that the Moorish history is a known thing. The Moorish Empire. Um, this is all from Moors in America. This is from Moors in America. You can get this at khalifamedia.com. Moorish heritage. I consider it most significant. Oh, this is DeLacy O'Leary. I consider it most significant that the African peoples which Clyde Winters mentions, such as the Manding, the Fula, the Moors, Wolof, and Berbers, all come within the Moorish imperial boundaries. Historical records reveal that. Oh, let me give you a little bit. Let me give you a little bit of this. Historical records reveal that in Africa, the Moorish Empire once extended as far south as Senegal River and as far east as the Egyptian border. Historians of the Maghreb, like S.S. Imamuddin, remind us of the vast expanse of territory which was recognized as Moorish by centralized governments of earlier centuries. Recognition of the fact included the Western European world. Consequently, it would have been reasonable in precious centuries for people to consider Manding and Fula also Moorish, in that such designated peoples came from within Moorish territory. This would change over the course as the recognized territories of the Moors would shrink over time.
Hmm.
So when we're talking about Moorish Empire, you're talking about Moorish imperial boundaries. You're talking about Moorish imperial boundaries, you're talking about anywhere there's dark-skinned people.
Hmm.
And this is documented. This is not, opinionated. This is what it is. And then it's up to people that if they want the truth, then they'll accept it. If they don't, then they don't. And the struggle continues, as they say.
Right. Now I wanna talk. I'm gonna take this off the screen. Is that cool? Or you want
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I want to address what you said about the movement, right? Or about history, right? So people talk about like the history about Moorish history, and then they kind of fast forward to when the temples came into play, right? Like that's like the end of the Moorish history, if you will, not the end technically, but like I know what you mean, like the tail end of what was going on, right? So now there, I would say in my mind, how I'm seeing it is that you have Moors that are in the temple and Moors that deal with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's teachings, and then you have Moors that are not necessarily, or they don't necessarily subscribe wholeheartedly to the Prophet's teachings, right? So they might take bits and pieces, however, they don't necessarily live out, the Prophet's teachings the way he taught it. You got brothers out here that, they're just really good with history, they're good with law. They might come from they might come from the C and Bay cipher. They might come from other, I would say, factions or schools of thought, or just, people just, I know a god, I call him the God because we call each other God and all that. He also knows lessons and things like that. um he also calls himself a Moor. However, he's never really been in the temple, but he knows his stuff. He could take you, he could take you into a deep dive into Moorish history. So my point that I'm making is that, everyone doesn't have to come from the temple, so to speak. You got Moors from all kinds of walks of life. I don't know if you were referring to that or not. I would like for you to expound on what you meant by that. Oh, yeah, your thing is cut off. You got to cut your mic back on.
My bad.
It's all right.
Noble Drew Ali's universal. So when we're talking about us being Moors, there's nobody here that is pre Noble Drew Ali. Like, we're all after him. So anybody claiming that they're more than likely, he's why we're Moors.
More than likely.
Right? Because we were Negro, black, colored, African, and all the other stuff, and he brought this thing back to us about our nationality. So regardless of whether they're in the temple or not, every Moor should know about Noble Drew Ali, left, right, and center. They should have all his literature. They should read everything that he has. They should have a picture of him at their house. They should have, him represented, because he's our prophet. Whether you're in the temple or not, he's our prophet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact. That's a fact. So now, so I don't know if you were, when you were saying like we just fast forward to like the end of the history, just like they do Black History Month, when our history starts way before the civil rights movement and all that. Right? So I don't know if you were going there, kind of like with that, with the Moorish teachings,
No, just that all of it's parallel.
Yeah.
With regard to the speeding up of our timeline.
Mm-hmm.
When we're taking into considering the Moorish, whatever it is, whether it's Moorish Science Temple, Moorish movement, Moorish Empire, Moorish history, Moorish whatever, they always start at this certain part.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make the connection that it's an ancient thing.
Right.
They don't make the connection that ancient Egypt was also North Africa. And everybody knows that the Moors come from North Africa. So why wouldn't the Egyptians be included in being Moors if they're North Africa?
Right.
Because they are considered when you talk about the world history. So you wouldn't have some some disconnect, like you have with the people who teach the Kemetic teachings or whatever, and then they don't say that they're Moors, but they're pushing the Kemetic teachings. Well, the Moors are the high priests of Anu, and if the high priests of Anu were the authority, because everybody know the high priest was the highest. High priest was higher than the pharaoh. So if the high priest was the highest, they were called Moors, then why would you limit yourself to just being a pharaoh or whatever? Why not be the high priest of Anu? If we're going to be claiming that we're somebody from the ancient Egyptian paradigm.
I think it's because of the way we were taught to study and view history,
right,
in small little pockets, like
which goes back to what Mikey was saying, that it's a conditioning.
Right.
That's not normal behavior. That, oh yeah, we're going to study history, but we're just going to study this part.
Right.
You know what I mean? If anything else, you're going into, you know, martial arts. You're not staying at white belt.
Right.
You're trying to get all of them.
Right.
You're trying to get the full scope, because that's really the only way that you're going to be able to know.
Exactly.
You know, but like you're saying, because of the lack of wanting to study. I was talking with Grand Chief Nature earlier today.
Oh,
and he was talking about how you couldn't even pull off a lecture right now because of the online thing. You wouldn't be able to pull off a lecture because there's going to be that option of stay at your house and just watch it online.
Right.
When back in the day, you didn't have online option. If you want this info, you're going to the library, you're going to whatever, to the lecture. Right. You know what I mean? You're planning for 2 weeks because the Taj lecture is coming up. You're going out to buy your notebooks and your different pens and all that stuff. You don't want to run out of ink and all that, right, because it was a thing. You know what I mean? But the conditioning has the people in a you know, sort of a stagnant place with regard to, you know, knowing more, pursuing more. You know, it's just like with when you look at the game right now with ball right now, you know, the only move is shoot threes. Nobody doesn't have moves anymore.
Yeah.
The only move is shoot threes, and then if you are gonna drive some jelly whatever, everybody wants to be Kyrie. They can't even do a left hand layup, but they want to be Kyrie. They can't make 10 free throws straight, but they want to shoot from the logo and all that. You know, because of the conditioning. And then the problem with conditioning is that once you start in that, you know, just like exercise, you know, people who are really into exercise, they don't stop. Like there's no days off for the people who are you know, at their you know, 500 pull-ups in a day or whatever like that. There's no stop for them.
Right.
This stuff is constant. That's how Moors who are serious with the study and that they take it like that. That this stuff is 24/7. We're going to be getting into this Moorish whatever. Wherever it goes, we're going there. Just because we know it's going to go somewhere. You know?
Right. This brother right here said people view history from a colonial mindset, then parrot it as if it's truth. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, especially in America, we see everything like black, white, Hispanic, like when those labels came like in history, like way later.
Yeah, that's a modern thinking.
Yeah.
You know, but who are the most modern people? Modern Europeans.
Right.
And majority of people's mindsets like them. This is why the stuff is all messed up. Because you're not going back to the foremothers and forefathers mindset, which is, you know, foremothers and forefathers mindset is, you know, building pyramids and all that.
Exactly.
Foremothers and forefathers mindset isn't making horseshoes.
Right.
You know, forefathers' mindset is thinking horseshoes. You know, horse with wings. You don't need shoes. Horse could fly.
Indeed. So I want to go back to this right here. You have I don't know if you putting these slides up to show the people.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just go through some of these. Just again, going back to the Moorish Empire. Um, there's this 3-volume set by S.P. Scott that anybody could get. It's out there. So it's you know, and those are all three, and that's how thick they are. To tell you about the Moorish Empire. Right? History of the Moorish Empire in Europe. Chapter 1. The Ancient Arabians, BC 2500 to AD 614. Right? So when we're talking about that thing of, you know, the synonyms, because, you know, if you talk about Arabs, you're talking about Moors. There's no pale Arabs like what you see over there today. The people that say they're Arabic or whatever, and then they look pale. Those aren't the original people over there. You know what I mean? Those are the ancient Arabians, are dark-skinned people. And if they're talking about BC 2500, that this ancient Arabia has been around, and Arabs are Moors, then again they're connecting it to this ancient Moorish Empire, right? Moorish Empire in Europe, but a single name, that of San Isidoro of Seville. One, however, famous in every department of knowledge, historian, polemic, commentator, theologian, and saint, has emerged from the chaos of literary obscurity which enveloped the life of Visigothic times.
Okay.
Hispano-Arab culture. Hispano-Arab culture. What does Hispano and Arab culture have to do? Why are they so relative? And again, remember, this is before Spaniards and all that,
Right.
right? Montezuma II's headdress, known as a Moorish hat.
That was known as a Moorish hat.
Moorish hat.
Wow. Yeah, I see it. Wow.
Mesoamerica. And then we already know that Montezuma was the head of an empire, wasn't he?
Yes, sir.
So if his hat is Moorish, then he's not Moorish?
Right.
Right. Back again to Drew Ali. The dominion of the Moors extended from northeast and southwest Africa across the Great Atlantis onto the present north-south Central America, also Mexico and Atlantis Islands. Heirs of the Incas by Carol Kitchener, Moorish America. Spanish America is Moorish America. This is our birthright. This is our Moorish inheritance. That we're the beneficiaries of the most vast estate on the planet, but we want to play Negro games and colored games and play whatever other games that we want to play instead of dealing with the real.
Okay, so we got somebody who comes in the name of Moorish American 777.
Oh, don't worry about him. That's a troll. Don't even waste your time.
Oh, okay, because I'm like,
that's a troll from our stuff that came on here. So don't even waste your time.
Okay.
We already know. We already know. Don't even go there. It's my brother Kush. Cook up.
Moors.
You got the hot grease? You got the hot grease over there?
It's always on deck, man. Peace and love to all y'all out there, man.
Peace.
I'm just piggybacking off what y'all just said. I had some technical difficulties, but just to piggyback off what y'all talking about right now from the book, right? There's no such thing as coincidence, right? Look at that. Ancient Americas. I was going to show y'all something real quick, just off what you was just talking about.
Well, don't worry. Take your time, more. Take your time.
It is right here. When they say we not Moors, and this the picture you just showed, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let me just go a little closer and show you this right here. All right. Do those right there, those look like fezzes, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Montezuma. We already
Mhm.
got it in. We already know that he was calling it out there. He was chief out there. This is right here, the ancient Americas. And you know what's crazy? This is the crazy part. You talking about the Greece. You talking about the Greece and whatnot. Hold up. What that said? I just put a post up. I just threw a post up. RIP to this Moor who was wearing the same thing. He was literally wearing the same thing. Who's that right there? Who's that?
Oh yeah. Of course. Muhammad Ali.
What do you got on his head?
A fez.
Ah.
Mm.
So he got a fez on.
Mm-hmm.
So what about this one? Pictures speak 1,000 words.
Yes, sir.
There go another fez. But this the crazy part. This is what the NOI ain't gonna show you. Who's this guy? Who's this guy right here? Why is this guy got a fez on?
Mm.
Who's that guy? Why is his fez not playing like the truth? It's marked up. That guy. That guy got a fez on. Y'all know that guy, right?
Oh, indeed. Yes, sir.
Who's that guy? What about this guy? Yo, Ron, what about this guy? This guy right here. What about this guy? Oh, where's this guy at? Peace and love to all y'all out there too. What about this guy right here?
Yo, this Moorish American 777 dude is crazy,
I
man.
tell you, he's a professional troll. He's a professional troll.
What about this guy?
Who is that? Oh, Farrakhan. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Why he got a fez on? If he don't know that we Moors. And how come his members don't wear the fezes? Why did Elijah Poole Bey, aka Elijah Muhammad, why didn't he keep the fez inside of the mosque? Why did he ban the wearing of the fez in 1936? Why he do that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I'll tell you this. I'm not from the Nation of Islam, so I can't answer that question. You would have to have somebody from the Nation of Islam to answer that question.
Nah, that's really rhetorical. We already know what's going on. You feel me?
I don't know. I mean, I can't. I don't know what's going on. I know you probably think what you think, but then I have my own view, and then somebody from the Nation of Islam may have their own view. You know what I'm saying? I'm not from the Nation of Islam. I don't know what's going on in that cipher. I don't know. However, I do know somebody from the Nation of Islam, and you know, they
not no nation. Let's just get that out the way. Because in order to have a nation, you got to have a national flag,
nationality,
constitution, nationality. You got to have a seal. You got to have a treaty with other nations. They're an organization. So I don't need to speak to none of them. It's really a waste of time. You feel me?
Okay, so I hear what you're saying, right? As far as nationality and what you got to have and yada yada yada, and that's based on the actual definition. And what else?
That's based on law, treaty law, universal law, common law. That's based on all laws on the planet. And this is what the thing though, because if we looked at where is that? If we looked at this right here, because they'd be like, well, where is the Moorish nation? You look at it every day. When they say it's crazy, hey, Ron, it's crazy, because they'll be like, where's the Moorish nation at, right? You look at it every day. When you look at this right here, Everybody know what these are. You ain't got to go ask nobody what these is. You see that pyramid right there? It ain't no Indian temple on there. Ain't no pyramid on there. That's nothing but Moorish.
All right, so let me ask you this, Kush Day. I want you to show and prove on how those seals connect to the Moorish nation.
Okay, pay attention. See that right there? That right there is them trying to demonize this right here. So I'm gonna show you the pictures because the picture gonna get in your head. The pictures is what's gonna get in your head. See that? We show and prove in real time. This ain't no belief. This ain't no theory. This ain't no religion. See what that say? The Al-Moroccan Empire.
Okay, so now where do you get that picture from? What book is that? And when was that seal created?
This seal has been created. This book right here is actually called The Torch.
Mm-hmm.
This is why the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, just like to piggyback off the Fez, this is not modern. This is ancient and modern. Because if you look up this word right here, off the image I just showed you, if you look close, this is where law come in at. This is where none of these black organizations, they don't go to law. See how it says ab antiquo? Ab antiquo in law means ancient. None of these organizations have anything that says ab antiquo. Therefore, they're disqualified from being a nation. And when you go right here to pick up this one in the middle, if you look up the definition of union, you have the Moorish nation, which is right here. That right there, with the circle 7 on the bottom, right here. Then you have this right here. This is the Albion side. That one right there represents a union of two nations on this land. All you got to do is look up the national mission statement written by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You got two separate nations that came together to make one republic in the Americas. The Moorish nation and the Albion nation.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two nations.
Okay, now I get that, right? And I heard that. Now I'm trying to figure out how can you show and prove that that part of the seal represents the Moorish nation. How can you connect the dots?
Because that's all that's left. Because if the eagle represents the Europeans and we see them talking in front of that all the time, the issue is that the pyramid people aren't speaking up. The pyramid people want to be Negro black colored. So exactly. it's dead. So you're not gonna find any representation of it unless it's us showing it that, hey, this belongs to the Moors. Hey, go in your pocket, ask yourself the question. Why is there a pyramid on the back of the $1 note right now, January 2nd, 2025, that nobody speaks in front of it, but everybody speaks in front of the eagle that's calling themselves government? Where are these pyramid people at? They have to be somewhere. The stuff's on the note right now.
You look
it's
at
on
that.
The note right
there
now.
It is right there. There
and
it
nobody's
is right
nobody's questioning. Nobody's asking the question, hey, whose seal is that? Because if the other seal is used and recognized by United States, then somebody has to be using that other one. And if they're not, then we got to question, well, who are these people that aren't using their seal?
And that's what law come in at. And none of these organizations, they don't deal with law. They just talk. They talk about religion and how they feel. All you got to do is go to this right here. The definition of union is when two nations come together or more nations come together to form one nation or one government, the republic.
Now, you see what you're saying, brother? Now, check this out. Two nations coming together to form one republic, right? Right? There's a reason for that. Right? You know the reason? Because one nation specialized in one thing and the other nation was specialized in another thing. And, you know, we all can't do everything, right? So one nation comes with what they come with, the other nation comes with what they come with, and then they form a union to become one, a strong nation, right? Now, I'm saying that to say, you mentioned about all these nations, like the Nation of Islam and all these different people, they have what they have. They talk about religion. They come to the table with something. They come to the table with some value. You come to the table with your value. We all come to the table together and we unify and we move forward.
That's not the same, because the organizations aren't a nation. So if they're coming to the table, leave the NY thing
You know why I say
alone.
that's cap? Because you can't be
Go ahead, more.
you can't be a nation as black. You can't be a nation as an Indian. Those not nations. Those are dead entities. They're dead.
So what I'm saying, I don't
they
mean to
don't
cut your
bring
wisdom.
anything to the, they don't bring
But
nothing to the table.
I hear you, but what I'm trying to tell you is this, right? So like what you specialize is what you specialize in, right? This is something that you study on a consistent basis all day, every day. If not all day, every day, you made it a lifestyle. You made it a part of you, right? That's your specialty. That's your strength. Now, someone else over here on the right, that may not be their strength. Law, civics, etc., may not be their strength. Their strength may be energetic work, etc. It's up to you to teach in a manner in which you could bring them to the table and bring light to them. You know what I'm saying? I feel the way that I see your build is like, you're not doing this and you're not doing that, therefore you're not qualified to even be taught almost.
Nah, this is what it is. Take the emotions out. The living don't dwell in the dead. See, this is why I say law, it governs all events. So when you say they bringing this and they bringing that, they bringing value in this, they're bringing something that's the value that they have is coming from a dead place. Because according to science, black means dead. They're a corpse. They don't have value. They're artificial entities. Therefore, whatever they bring is a limited type of what you would say. You can bring something, but if we was to go into before a world court, they wouldn't be heard. They can't
just like Ralph Bunch wasn't heard, just like El Haj had to go proclaim that he's a national before he could have got heard, because they wouldn't have heard what he was saying. Right? That's why he went and got the L. He went and got the L so that when he goes to the UN, they're gonna hear the argument that he's making under the organization.
Right. You know, yo, I agree. I get that part. I totally understand. I'm just saying, when it comes to our people, they're not getting it. Obviously, they're not getting it. It's not that they don't want to. It's not that they don't want to learn. Is by which the information is given to the public. It's not broken down in the simplest form for them to understand. Now, you brothers know this front and back and been studying this for years. That's just like, you know, Cujo makes reference to martial arts. That's just like me studying. I'm a black belt. It took me 4 years to become a black belt, 5, depending on school, 4 or 5 years to become a black belt. And now I'm looking at, let's say, a white belt who came from a kung fu school. He's a high ranking kung fu guy. Now he's coming to karate, and he's now starting as a black belt. And I'm looking at him and I'm going, yo, you don't know this and you don't know that. Nah, this is not, no, like almost talking down. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you would give that white belt information in such a way where it's simple enough for them to understand and go, okay, I got it. And now they're on their way now to get their own black belt, right?
So where we're at is that you ever, as a black belt, right? You ever held a white belt and twist their arm till it hurt?
No.
Everything they got was easy. They didn't get slammed hard or anything. They got
They
took
had
down
to
lightly.
go through something to
They
learn.
didn't get the roundhouse kick back.
What I'm gonna tell you, right? Through experience, like doing this, right? I don't know if this is a good build or not, but I think this is a good build for me. Whatever. When you a white belt, it's like it's all systematic. You give them like little bits and pieces before you give them, the steak and stuff like that, right? So you don't just give them, you don't just slam them on the head right away. Like first,
Okay, let me
Okay,
bring
so
it
look at
different.
this. So you say
Let
you
me
want
bring it
something,
different.
you want something simple, so the majority of the people can understand. We could do that.
So
we could go from higher learning to, we could bring it down. So it's
right. So yeah, like, because even with schooling, you have preschooling and kindergarten.
okay. To take it to a third grade degree, right? Third grade, white belt.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's skin is this color.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, third grade stuff. Okay, so white belts, they would say when a child is learning their crayon colors, they're gonna say this is black. They're gonna say this is white, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now when you say, if you call yourself this right here, you're gonna get slammed on your head over and over and over again. But if you say that's not you and you have a nationality, now you have room to spar. But if you continue to use language that's gonna get you bust over your head, chopped up, slammed on your neck, saying that you this, it's about time to do something different. If you getting beat up every time you go in that spine, and we talking about spawn right now, talking about building off spawn, because I do that too. So we talking about we spawn, and every time you go in the ring, they kicking on your ass because you doing the same systematic. I'm gonna go in there like this with my guards up and just throw haymakers. But every time you in that ring, they tearing your ass up. Every time you dropping your hand, getting stolen. It's about time for you to A, get another trainer to train you, or B, you need more discipline in your techniques.
Well, see, this is my whole point, right? Getting another trainer to train you it's really on the teacher, right? So if you go in and you're getting your ass beat all the time, you have to question some things. And so this is what I'm saying, as far as you being a teacher, you being the best knower in this realm, the first thing you want to do, I would say, with all due respect, is to give people something simple and break it down from what they say in the 5% nation, knowledge to born. Break it down from 1 back to 9. You know what I'm saying? So we were going into the Moorish Empire, right? So how does the Moorish Empire connect to us? And the brother Cujo was going into the Phoenicians, and he started really breaking it down. Now, to take it all the way back to the Moorish Empire, to follow that line, that timeline, right? We're going before the medieval times, right? Where the Moors are more popular in history in the medieval times, right? So before the medieval times, we're talking about ancient Kemet, the Phoenicians, etc. Now, as far as the timeline is concerned, where does the Moorish Empire start, and where does the Moorish Empire as end up in these days and times, 2025?
The Moorish Empire is the beginning of government on this planet. The Moorish Empire is the Lemurians, the Atlanteans, the Phoenicians, and beyond. So we talking about systems of government, civics and law, physics, health, language. We talking about sound and music. We talking about literally agriculture, everything on this planet, mathematics. Like I heard you bring up the 5% nation, right? Okay, the 5% nation, they get little tidbits of Moorish science. But the key that they're missing is the link up is 5 components of a natural being. The 5 components of a natural being are universal. See, this is universal law. So you have what? What are the 5 components of a man or a woman? The missing 2 components that were taken away from us is our nationality and our creed, which is the God consciousness that we can tap back into our forefathers.
Okay, so let's rewind that, right? So you said the 5% nation is missing 5. No, you said what the 5% nation is missing is the 5 components that make man and woman, right?
Yes.
Now, with that said, explain the 5 components, and then I could verify whether that's right and exact or not, because I'm actually a part of the 5% nation.
Okay, this is definitely right and exact. I'm gonna show it to you. I ain't just gonna tell it to you. See, these are the 5 components that every being on this planet has: spirit, soul, body, nationality, and creed.
Okay, now
those are the 5 components, universal components.
Okay, so can you put that up again? All right, so this is where things get tricky, right? Because of the word and the semantics, right? So when we're talking about the 5% nation, the 5% nation talks about arm, leg, arm, head. That's the body. The creed is Islam. The spirit, we don't really deal with the word spirit. However, I'm gonna say energy itself, energy, right? Because when the 5% nation deals with the word spirit, they don't really deal with that because it goes into what you call quote unquote spookism. However, 5%ers who can see through that, or not through that, but also you can look at the word spirit and see energy. So we deal with creed, we deal with body and spirit, quote unquote energy, right? And when it comes to nationality, the 5% nation deals with nationality, however, not necessarily in depth like the Moorish science does, right? So now the only thing missing would be the soul. Now, here's the thing. What is the soul exactly? Now, that could be, that word can vary, because what peace, divine Allah, right? So, okay, so you say spirits. Yes, spirit is the breath, energy, right? So now, as far as soul, that is not a word mentioned in the 5% nation. Now, what would you consider the soul?
The soul is the actions of the mind's powers: thinking, reasoning, willing, and understanding. When you say, go ahead, more.
Consider this too, right? That you're speaking from a 5%er that has the 5. You have the 5. You got Quran. You know about soul of man and all that.
Yes, sir.
You know about spirit. You know about body. You have a nationality.
Yes, sir.
I know you're not just Ron Brown or you know whatever Allah. You got nationality.
Wow.
And you have a creed. So you're more a 5%er because you have the 5 filled out. The question is, well, how come the others don't have the 5 filled out? Just like with the NOI. How come there's NOI that are bays and L's and all that?
You know what I think?
Everybody a L or a bay in the Nation of Islam.
Now you know what I think that's what's going on as far as like when my educator Kadir Allah told me, when you do this podcast, don't compare and contrast, because what happens is it goes left. And the reason why it goes left is because everyone's in their perspective schools of thought, and they specialize in that particular school of thought, and they don't really cross paths and share notes. And that's where the issue comes in, because if you sat with actual 5%ers that knew the teachings through and through, they could find similarities in those 5 that you mentioned.
No, we're not talking about the similarities of the 5. We're talking about the 5. This is what any living being, they're gonna have these five.
Yeah.
They're gonna have these five things.
Islam.
Right? Now, you as a 5%er, you have those five things. We're saying that everybody else who's a 5%er should be like you and have those five things too. We're not challenging their school of thought. We're not saying the information's wrong. We're saying the only two things missing is nationality and creed. Our creed, our religion isn't Islam. Our religion is Islamism.
Islamism.
There's a big difference between Islam and Islamism.
Huge difference.
And then our nationality is Moorish American, not gods and earths or members of the whatever, the national name. So yeah, you can be gods and earths if you have all your five. It qualifies you to be able to talk about whatever you're claiming. But if you don't have the five, you can't really go up against a black belt if you're a white belt.
Yeah,
you don't stand a chance.
Because see, this is the thing, Morris. To make it, you said make it simple like a white belt, right? So the reason why these are not perspectives, and this is why the Noble Drew Ali, peace be unto the prophet. Noble Drew Ali was a universal prophet. Noble Drew Ali didn't specialize in different schools. This is why he always said he was a universal prophet. He said he came to us Moors because we needed him the most. We need him the most because we lack the five components. That's why Sandra Bland, the other guy out there, RIP in New York or wherever he was at, they got brutally murdered, executed on camera. They do this type of stuff because the police are slave patrol. Their job is to murder, kill, incarcerate, beat down any 3/5 colorable person. The reason why black, Indian person of color is so detrimental and dangerous that we got to get off that narrative in 2025 is because without the two components in law, we talking about law. We ain't talking about a school of thought. In law, if you are any one of those Indian, black, Native American, Pan-African, gods in the earths, in law, they're going to look at you and see a so-called black man or a so-called black woman. Point blank, period. They're going to go by prima facie, which is the appearance, not the legal substance. You're going to be looked at as a colorable person, lock them up, beat them down, execute them. This is why we keep having these same issues. And the police, they used to be slave patrol.
Now, let me ask you this. You don't think that we're having these issues because we can't figure out a way to like come to a common ground, look at the commonalities and come together, unify and stand for people in our community as one unit. We have all of these different groups, and technically we're all kind of saying the same thing. It's just different wording and different focuses, and we still fail to come together and treaty with one another. I'm gonna put it out there. Treaty. Hold on, brother Cujo.
Yeah.
I'm saying treaty with one another to go and stand for our people in the communities.
Yeah, but the coming together, the unity, the happiness, the whatever it is that we're looking for is based in nationality. If there's no nationality, then we don't get what you're talking about that we should be working for as a people. How come we can't figure this out? Because we don't have a nationality. That's why. And it's never going to be figured out until we have a nationality. This is why we're going at all these other organizations who we know Hebrew Israelites. We know Hebrew Israelites who they have a Moorish nationality card.
Yes, sir.
We know Hebrew Israelites that they're about the Torah, they're about Yahweh, but they're L and B. They're not debating with us about, oh, we can't say that we're Moors and the Moabites and the 12 tribes. They're not going there. They have a nationality. So we have no issues with them. You're a nation of gods and earths.
Mhm.
You have a nationality.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You're not Negro black colored. You're not black Asiatic and all that stuff. You have a nationality, right? Yusuf Bey, Captain Joseph X proclaimed his nationality, and now it's saying Yusuf Bey. For years, been saying Yusuf Bey. That's Moorish. That's nationality. Farrakhan, and all of them having nationality, going through Temple 13, Baltimore to in the 80s to proclaim their nationality.
But
So
let me ask you. Sorry.
yeah, just saying that's the nationality, and that's what the leaders should be talking about. That
Where's
we
that
have a
flag at?
nationality.
See, another thing to add on to what Grand Sheik's saying is the nationality comes with so much more than just saying nationality.
Boom. Let's go.
Right there. You feel me? We gotta go into that word. What does nationality mean? The quality, the character,
The quality of character of a person.
Yes, of a person
Yes, sir.
belonging
Yes,
to a
sir.
nation.
Where's that bell? Hold on. All right, I'm up now. All right, now the quality and the character. This is what the prophet was trying to get the Moors or the Asiatics here in North America upright, standing on their square
Yes,
with
sir.
the character. That's why he came with the circle 7, etc. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now, go ahead. Cook, brother.
For sure. So we saying the nationality, the word, the nationality, the quality and the character. The characteristics of a living being, it has to have quality. You can exist, but that doesn't mean you have quality. You don't have principles that you stand for. You can exist, but your quality and your character are terrible. And this is what part of when you saying the link up, what's keeping us. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. A lot of people, they know a lot of this information, bits and pieces, but it's more what you would say a cash flow to dwell in a trauma mind. Real shit. It's more cash flowing to dwell as a victim, because that's the shadow work. Real shit that a lot of people, they don't want to stop playing that victim card. They know like they gonna get some sympathy. They gonna get some benefits of being sorry, benefits of being the victim. Real shit though. We got to keep it all the way real. So that quality of character is a word that people, you can sum it up in one word: accountability. Boom. That one word, people look at that word today's times like kryptonite.
That's the plague.
That they don't want to go into accountability because now they got to be responsible. And it's more cash flowing to play the victim and let somebody else be responsible. Let you take care of it. My character is I'm gonna play the victim, and this is where these so-called black educators, they play on our people, because we all collectively, whatever you in the gods of the earth, or you in the Nation of Islam, or you a Hebrew Israelite, all of us collectively, Pan-Africans, we collectively, when we get pulled over, it doesn't matter about all that. They looking at they looking at a so-called black man and a so-called black woman, point blank period. But being quality in that character is like, no, sir, I'm not what you think I am. I know who I am. So that quality and character is gonna be like, even when you pin down and they telling you, you black, you this, you that, your quality and character is gonna step up, and you're gonna, it's just gonna come out. That's what we got to get back to, having pride. Like the Prophet Noble Joe Ali said, we got to have pride of our nation. This flag right here, we got to have pride in this flag, because everybody else got a flag. Why shouldn't we have pride and raise our flag up, which is our nation, and represent our nation? And like the Prophet Noble Joe Ali said, I brought y'all something to shout about. We should be shouting about our nationality and our birthright.
Everybody else is, look at Palestine. They're not shouting about their nationality. Look at the Jews. All of their nationalities fake. Aren't they repping for their nationality?
Yes, sir.
The prophet also said he gave us something to save ourselves, right? And he was holding up the what? He was holding up the circle 7.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So that right there
Yes, sir.
is the character builder.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is the character builder there.
Yes, sir.
Right. So if that's the character builder, then everybody should be using that to build their character, regardless of what school of thought they're in.
I would agree.
Doesn't even matter what school of thought you're in. You should at least have mastered, certain chapters of the Quran for your character building.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's your children's character building, just like one of the Moors sent me a message today with their offspring. Are you Negro, black, color? No, I'm not black. I'm a Moor, right? 4 years old or whatever. So the 4-year-old knows that they're Moor. Then these adults can't tell me nothing. That they're something else. If a 4-year-old could figure this stuff out, that they're a Moor, with no debating, well, why are we calling ourselves Moors? Just look at yourself. That's why you're a Moor. Real easy. If a 4-year-old could get that, adults should be able to get this. And if adults aren't getting this, it's probably because they're emotionally attached to the teaching of their sellout Negro leaders.
Emotional.
Who didn't teach them about their nationality and their birthrights and their creed and taught them everything else.
Emotional. Because, like somebody can play on people's emotions. Like a manipulator, they're not dumb. They know how to say buzz and words and trigger words to manipulate somebody's emotional bursts. These people are not dumb. Let's just get that straight. They know what to say, how to trigger somebody, because everything starts with the mind. They know how to use psychological tactics. So what we're saying is, okay, let's work on our own character building. Let's work on our own quality building. How do we do that? We dive into the circle 7, and that's going to take us not outside. That's going to take us inside, within. Mm-hmm. We got to go within.
Let's start there. Yeah, let's go there, because we've been going outside forever, and nothing's been solved. All this time going outside of ourselves, even as conscious people. Mm. Well, clearly going outside isn't working. If we look at the conditions, right? So okay, so let's go within now. And the best reference point for going within is that little book that Noble Drew Ali brought.
Yo, hold on 1 second. Hey, Divine Allah, you the God, you know what's going on. Stop, yo, I see you, God.
You said,
Caribbean.
You know what's going on, but like, all right, let's go. Let's let it
ride. Let's let it ride.
Let's go then. So if you saying that's a good question. Let's go there then. Let's cook. Throw the whole fish grease pot up in there. So if you saying Caribbean, look at the geography now. This is what law come in at. The geography of the Caribbean island. Hold up. He wanted to go there.
Go there.
All right, hold up. Is he a flat earther or a round earther? Because we got
nah. The only flat earther that we know that claims a 5% nation is Lord Jamal. Other than that, that's it. I don't know no flat earther from the 5% nation.
Hold up. So let's just go right here then. Let's throw the whole pot on. All right, this is Taínos and the Caribs.
Here we go.
Okay. Taínos and the Caribs. Right here. Let's take it to the white belt. All right, can you see it? North America. This is what's known as Hispaniola, the Greater Antilles, the Lesser Antilles, the so-called Caribbeans, right? Jamaica, Puerto Rico, all that. The Bahamas. Then you got South America. So what would that make right here? It will make it America. So the Caribbeans are the Taínos and the Caribbean people. Moorish Americans. Islam.
Right? When they say Gambian, they're talking about people from Gambia, right? When they say Ghanaian, they're talking about people from Ghana, from Ghana. Right? So when they say Caribbean, who are they talking about? People from where?
Right.
From the islands inhabited by the Caribs.
Yeah.
Those are the Americans. Those are the copper-colored people who were in the Americas before Europeans came here.
Right. Now, Yusuf, where did he get that definition? Hey, God, where did you get that definition? Because that definition of nationality, there's so many, like, it's the timeline. Like, you got definition of nationality from the early 1900s. Right. Is that a 1933 Black's Law or 1940s?
This the 4th edition. This is basically the best edition.
The 4th edition, what was that, 1940s?
This was, let me double check it. 1968.
68.
1968.
Okay. Now, can you read off that def? Now, see, this is the problem with our people. I know for a fact.
They don't know what words mean.
Not only the words, we don't understand that words in history changes with time.
No, it's not supposed to. That's denotative.
Right, because
it's supposed to the word is supposed to be what it meant anciently. It's supposed to mean the same stuff right now.
Right, because the prophets spoke about absolute truth and truth, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
you know, when a word, you get what I'm saying? So the definition of nationality back in however when the word first came out is supposed to still reign true right now in 2025.
Right.
However, the European, he likes to, you know, play trick knowledge, and he plays tricknology through the wording, and this is where we get it twisted. Hold on, see, like for instance, look here we go. We got it. This is popping. God divine, you need to stay on these lives every time. Now, nationality, 1690s, separate existence as a nation, national unity, integrity from nationality, national plus. Okay, so now
let's go to the 4th edition. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the 4th edition is, some say is the best edition because it's less watered down. So it says nationality, that quality or character which arises from the fact of a person's belonging to a nation or state. Simple, straight to the point. So first of all, what pops out is the second and the 4th word is quality and the character.
Mm-hmm.
Then it says from the fact of a person. That doesn't leave room for interpretation with a belief. The fact of a person's belonging to a nation or state. So the first question is, what nation do you belong to? What's your nationality?
Mm-hmm.
And this
it's interesting that they're gonna have state in there, but the people who are from a state don't identify by a nationality. If somebody says New Yorkian, that's not a nationality.
Right.
Virginian's not a nationality.
Right.
So when you're talking about the changing of it, right, over time, you're looking at denotative versus connotative. You're looking at abridged versus unabridged.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. And once you start talking abridged, you're done for.
Right.
When they start talking,
which is why our people are done for, because all they do is talk abridged.
Yeah.
Right.
And you talk legal. I like what he said, because he said the first thing that he said something about a legal citizen. Now that's another word that we need to start diving into in 25. Citizenship has 4 different classifications, not just one. And keep in mind, we as the indigenous people, Aboriginal, we can never be citizens of a U.S. corporation.
Now, before you go there, please hold that thought. I just want to make mention of this. Now, Cambridge Dictionary, Divine Law. What I'm trying to explain to you is this, God, that history and words start changing, right? So you have to you got to do deeper research. You just can't go on Google, type a word in, and then find it from that. Or you can't just pick it up off of your bookshelf and then start flipping the pages. You got to, once you get that, you look at that book, you got to look at other book, find other references. This study is like super deep. So it's not, you just can't it doesn't work like that.
This is why it's a habit. It's a habit with Moors that when we were coming into this information in 2008, right? One of the patterns that we adopted from the Moors before us is having multiple dictionaries.
Islam.
In order to correct that stuff that you're talking about. Looking up one, you get a definition. You look it up in Oxford Dictionary, you're gonna get something else.
Mm-hmm.
You look up in the law dictionary, you're gonna get something else. That's not even relative to the last two that you looked up. You look it up in a science dictionary, you're gonna get something else. So you have these multiple dictionaries, so you can make this more real time, more practical,
Right?
because you have more to work with than just this one definition, and then you're stuck, just like our people that they're stuck on the race of dark-skinned people on the earth, black
Right.
people.
Right.
Well, did you look up black, its origin? No, we didn't look that up. We just looked up this one definition.
Right.
When if you looked it further, you would have got more.
Right.
And to go to your point, divine law, yes, but legalese is a bunch of trick knowledge. That's the whole point, God. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because it's trick knowledge, you gotta unlock whatever mysteries are in the trick. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Go to law.
And
don't go to legalese, because he's 100%.
Exactly, he's right.
He's
Yeah.
right. He's 100% right. Divine Allah. I'm gonna say your name.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct. That's why we don't deal with legalese. We deal with law. There's a difference between something that's lawful and legal. So you're 100% correct. 100%. We don't deal as Moors. We don't go into tricknology with legalese, because that's how somebody can murder somebody and legally get away with it. But lawfully, they should be incriminated.
Right. And then just to back that up, so that's in the law realm. So then in the language realm, we're going to deal with denotative, not connotative.
Islam.
Just like we're not going to deal with legalese, we're going to deal with law.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you're dealing with connotative, now you're stuck in black.
Yeah.
Now they can use the legalese against you.
Facts.
Because you're not saying that you're a Moor, which the law is over. You're saying you're black, which the legalese is over. So now here they come with their trick knowledge bag on you.
Mm-hmm. And check it out. So you know how we saying the quality and the character of nationality, right? This is why it's so paramount, because we as a people, we love looking flashy. We love quality stuff. We love quality merch. Mm-hmm. Why would I have something that's golden, which is a nationality and a birthright? Why would I want to substitute that for something that's, like when you go to the store, you go in a, food store, whatnot, would you want to go for the bottom shelf, the thing like the canned vegetable that got a dent in it? Would you want to, you ain't going to pick that up.
No.
You're going to go to the top shelf and you're going to get what's up there.
Yes, sir.
That's nationality. And that's the birthright that we all born with. Why would I substitute that and get the dented can that's on the bottom of the shelf at the store? No,
what people are missing because of all the stuff that's been going on the internet for years is they're missing the fact that nationality and character goes hand in hand with your ancestors, ancestry, linking you to the universe around us, making us the all in all, Allah, God, etc.
Right.
That's what's missing.
Mm-hmm. Like the brother said, legalese is what's inside Black's Law Dictionary, right? Mm-hmm. But then when we go to Black's Law Dictionary, it says definitions of the terms and phrases of American and English jurisprudence, ancient and modern. It doesn't say nothing about legalese there. This is not a book about legalese.
Right, because it says
definitions and terms of jurisprudence. Yes, that's not legalese.
But Islam. Now, God, because I don't know if you're still in the live, but I like that you came in and you were building with us and things like that. You came up with some good questions and some good statements. You know what I'm saying? Now, legalese is what's in the Black's Law Dictionary. Now, being a 5%er due to knowledge, right? The Black's Law Dictionary is simply what it says. It's a dictionary.
Dictionary.
And hold up. In the beginning of the book, what does it say in the beginning of the book? It says definitions and terms and phrases of American English jurisprudence, ancient and modern.
Ancient and modern.
Islam.
And that's where they get the modern authority.
Yes.
From the ancient.
From the ancient.
Yes. Islam.
From your forefathers and mothers.
Yeah.
And that's the teachings of Noble Drew Ali.
And again, this can happen. This can happen with no discrepancies or no debating or no whatever, because you got a nationality, so we can have these conversations. There's not going to be any your lessons versus our lessons, and that's not included in this talk.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because your religion is your thing. Your school of thought is your thing over there. Mm-hmm. My school of thought is my thing over here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even on the level of all of us being Moors on here, and we don't have a fez on or anything like that, or suit and tie and the sash and all to say that we're Moors. You don't need all that.
Nah.
You could do that, but that's not that's not a prerequisite. You got to wear a shirt and tie to be a Moor, right. Or you have to have a fez on, or you have to. No, this is nationality and birthrights. And it's getting our people to that mindset of realizing that, oh, they're talking about nationality and birthrights. They're not talking about religion. They're not talking about school of thought. We're not talking about your emotions and your feelings and oh, well, that teacher said. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about the quality and character that ties you to a nation.
Yes.
What is your quality and what is your character?
That's it. And to add on to what Grand Sheik just said, like you said, I gotta fit it on, you gotta fit it on, Moore got a Scully on. We came out of our mama butt naked. We didn't have no chains on, we didn't have a fez on, we didn't have none of that on. But we came out of our great cosmic mothers. This is where the nationality, the quality, and the character to uplift fallen humanity. We uplifting humanity starts with us uplifting where we got our nationality from. We uplift the mothers. Right. We uplift the women. So us uplifting the women is going to uplift the humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Quality.
Right. Yo. So what is it, Naru? I don't know if I'm butchering your name. Let me know. But with all due respect, Brother Ron, there were many lectures in the past, pre-COVID era, that much misinformation was being given to the public. I know I said that. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's why I'm like, yo, let's create a podcast. Let's clarify a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it needs to be fixed. You know what I'm saying? As much as it could be fixed. You know what I'm saying? So, I know that. I know that there's a lot of misinformation, but I like that we're going on the right path when we're talking about nationality and birthright and character and all that connected.
Yeah.
Because that is the path. When people look at it like Moors are against every school of thought or something like that, that's not what it is. That's emotionalism, why they're looking at it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're talking about what if we're claiming that we're a nation, what's your nationality? If you're telling me some fake stuff, because when I tell you go in your wallet, pull out your national whatever that you're claiming, and you can't, then obviously you're not that. We're not gonna have no long conversation about it.
Yeah.
Right. Just as simple as that. License insurance. If you don't got the stuff, you're getting a ticket. It ain't nothing personal.
And too, to add on to that more, to add on to that more, I was listening to this Mexican brother. I forget the more who posted the video. He was saying that our people, we are too much into trying to outdo each other. We put too much energy into one-upping each other. We put too much energy into comparisons. And every other nationality, they don't deal with that. Every other nationality that knows their nationality, they work together for the betterment of the people, for their community. They all could come together and say, we Mexicans. They had that Mexican flag waving. We Filipino, even though Filipinos, like Mexicans, are mortals. They know, just like everywhere else in the world, Chinese, Japanese. It's only in North America, it's centralized concentration for us to go against each other. Oh, you got this kind of car. Oh, that car ain't on nothing. You got that kind of coat. That ain't on nothing. You see? And that keeps us just independently. Instead of saying, I'm self-made. I made it on my own. Why? Why not have your people put on together so all y'all can get on? Nationality, quality, and the character.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Divine just asked, so you have to have a card to have a nationality? Well, shouldn't your state ID work? Now, again, looking at it from the organizational perspective, right? If we go to somebody who's Nation of Islam and they're claiming that they're a nation, just like somebody who's claiming China's claiming a nation and Brazil's claiming a nation and all these different people claiming a nation, when we ask them your nationality, prove it, they're going to show you something showing that this is their nationality.
Yes, sir.
Nation of Islam's not giving you that. They're saying that they're a nation, but they're not going to go in their wallet and pull out something saying they're a nation, a national of the Nation of Islam. They're not going to have anything that says that. We already know they're not, because they're not a nation. Right? We're not bringing it up from that perspective to that proves that you are who you are. We're saying that if you go to any other nation and ask them, let me see your ID for your nation, they're going to show you something with their ID for a nation. So we should be able to do the same thing. And if we can't, but we're calling ourselves a nation, then obviously we're not a nation, we're fronting.
Yeah, it's time to just be real with it, man. It's time to just really just be real with it. And that's what the age of Aquarius is all about. You're going to have to show and prove what you are. That's it, in real time. Got to show and prove what you are.
Indeed. Yo, on that note, we got to come back and do this again, because we're supposed to be talking about the Moorish Empire.
Yeah.
However, it went the way it went, and it went perfect to me. It went perfect. It went perfect to me. So so let's come back again next week. This is Cujo, can you do again next week?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. 8 p.m. again?
Let's do 8 p.m. Let's do
All
8
right.
p.m. 8 p.m. next week. And let's go into the Moorish Empire, and we'll do History of the Moorish Empire Part 2 and delve deeper into the historical piece. This was a great build this evening. Guess what? No arguing happened, y'all.
You can't.
For what?
Can't when you're dealing with,
no, somebody said that in the chat.
Yeah.
That
truth. When you're dealing with truth, you ain't in character and quality. You don't gotta argue.
Exactly.
Why would there be arguing?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Hey, Ron, can I just drop this real quick? This picture.
Go
I
ahead.
just want to show you this. Show the audience. Just show the audience this real quick. Let me zoom out. Now this picture. This is a Seminole chief over here. Hold up. This is a Seminole chief right here. And this is Moors out there in Easter Island in Hawaii. I just want to drop this picture on them real quick before we come back next week. Why would a Seminole chief be wearing a Moorish fez exactly like the Moors in Hawaii are doing?
Now, Ron, before we go, just push the screen share quick fast,
Okay.
just to show how everything's right in tune, right? So this is where we were gonna go. Part of where we were gonna go.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Talking about how those look like fezzes, and how those look like fezzes, and how all these look like fezzes, and we're talking about over here. And this is how you know. This is how you know Allah guides this.
Yes, sir.
This is how you know Allah guides this.
Allah's the
yield the
guide. Allah's the guide, the light, the protector.
Indeed. On that note, thank y'all for tuning in. NYP Talk Show. I really appreciate you, brothers. We
Honors to
got
you.
Canaan Land Moors, aka Cujo, Kush Day. Check them out. They're on Instagram, right? Kush
Yes,
Day
sir.
is on Instagram with the same handle, right? Kush
Yes,
Day.
sir.
Canaan Land Moors, same thing. Same thing. Ron Brown LMT. I'm back on Instagram, y'all. I'm back on Instagram. I had to cut out for a little minute.
Yeah, you gotta do it. You gotta detox, man. You gotta detox.
Take a break, man.
You gotta
Gotta
detox, yo.
detox.
Indeed. So yo, follow all of us on Instagram, Facebook, etc. See y'all Sunday or next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we're out of here. Peace.
Peace.